Kingdom Hearts 2 Keyblades are used very differently from those found in the first game. Much like the game that they occupy, all systems were effectively overhauled for the game, and Keyblades are no exception. Keyblades still have strength and magic stats that stack on top of Sora or Roxas' base strength and magic. However, one of the massive changes from KH1 to KH2 was how the magic system worked. Instead of being able to regain your magic by inflicting pain on your enemies, your magic in KH2 will fill after it is completely used using MP Charge. MP Charge will slowly refill your magic bar until full, when you are then able to use magic again. Notably, Cure in Kingdom Hearts 2 will use all remaining magic compared to Kingdom Hearts 1, where it was worth just 1 MP. This is important to note because it effectively changes how a player will select which Keyblade they use in comparison to Sora's last major adventure. Mostly every Keyblade in this game has a superior strength stat to magic. This feels like the through line for all of Kingdom Hearts 2, as it opted for flashy combat over the much more strategic and magically inclined Kingdom Hearts 1. Somehow, the defensive spell in Kingdom Hearts 2, Reflect, is typically used as a very strong offensive spell within the combat of the game, so much so that they have never brought it back for future titles because of how effective it is. It is important to weigh the different possible tactics to employ and how each Keyblade affects your stats on a boss-by-boss basis. If you go in with a strong magic stat, you are likely going to want to use Fire, Blizzard, or Reflect to shred your enemies. Most importantly, Kingdom Hearts 2 made 3 crucial changes to how Keyblades operate. First, each Keyblade has abilities linked to it, as opposed to them only being found in the abilities menu. These can typically be stacked on top of an ability found in the abilities menu to make it more potent. Also, Keyblades no longer include critical hits or recoil levels, the latter of which I completely omitted from my first video because I lacked the ability to properly research. This makes it so Keyblades have more equal damage outputs, and players will be more focused on the ability that the Keyblade provides than on equipping the Keyblade that they have received most recently. Another notable change is that you can equip different Keyblades from the one currently in use by attaching them to your drive forms. Valor Form, Master Form, and Final Form all receive slots in the menu for secondary Keyblades, as Sora could dual wield while in these forms. Wisdom and Limit forms only use the primary Keyblade equipped. When in one of the drive forms with 2 Keyblades, the abilities and stats of both Keyblades stack while in these drive forms, meaning that you can effectively have 2 of any of these Keyblades that we were going to talk about today. Lastly, on an aesthetic level, Keyblades also change how they look based on being in certain worlds. This includes Timeless River, Halloween Town, and Space Paranoids. In Timeless River, Keyblades become black and white. In Halloween Town, Keyblades become darker and look physically dirty, and in Space Paranoids they are black or white with neon blue accents throughout. Quickly, I wanted to go over struggle weapons. These are relegated to the prologue of Kingdom Hearts 2 and cannot be used again after this outside of fighting struggle matches with Sora when returning to Twilight Town. In the prologue, Roxas has the choice between 3 weapons: the sword, the hammer, and the wand, each of which gives Roxas an additional point in its respective attribute. The sword gives +1 strength, the hammer gives +1 defense, and the wand gives +1 magic. So with nothing else to go over, let's get into it.
I know! Just needed to be said.
Making its grand return from Kingdom Hearts 1, it's Kingdom Key. This time held by some spiky blonde kid. You will first receive this as Roxas when fighting a Dusk outside the mansion on the first day, and then continue using it throughout the prologue and key moments. It is then transferred back to Sora when Roxas becomes one with him in the basement of the old mansion. It has 3 strength, 1 magic, and its ability is damage control. When Kingdom Key is equipped, you will have the damage control ability. Damage control halves the damage Sora takes when in critical health. This is beneficial for the early game, but becomes increasingly less useful as enemies deal more and more damage. In the vanilla version of KH2, Kingdom Key gave Sora the Defender ability. Defender increases your base defense stat by 3 when you are in critical health. Both abilities essentially do the same thing, with pros and cons to both. Keyblades also have distinct lengths, with the Kingdom Key being on the shorter end of the spectrum with a length of 100. And as stated in the previous video, the Keyblade is around 3.5 feet. For reference, the range in Kingdom Hearts 2 goes from 98 all the way up to 168. The Keyblade has practically the same skeleton key design as the one seen in Kingdom Hearts 1, outside of some upgraded textures. It has the same silver shaft as the teeth of the key, making the iconic crown, and it still has a black handle with a gold guard and a blue stripe above that. And its keychain is a silver Mickey silhouette. Like I said in a previous video, I am a fan of the Kingdom Key design and what it represents. I would have loved to see tiny upgrades with each new game, not any that alter the Keyblade completely, but something to differentiate itself from other versions, much like they have done with the Ultimate Weapon in each game.
Don't talk! Fight!
After joining back up with Roxas and getting on the ghost train, Sora heads to the mysterious tower. In preparation for his new journey, the good fairies Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather give Sora a new outfit. Along with this, he receives the Starseeker Keyblade, which is automatically mapped as a secondary weapon to the newly obtained Valor form. It is locked in this spot until Sora receives a third Keyblade, which will likely be Hidden Dragon, then you can move it. It has the same stats as Kingdom Key, with 3 Strength, 1 Magic, but you get an Air Combo Plus ability with it. Air Combo Plus allows Sora to perform an additional attack in his combo while in the air, going from 3 attacks to 4 if there are no other Air Combo Pluses stacked on this one. This is useful for dealing damage to enemies at a more efficient rate as long as they remain in range. Starseeker is in the top half of Keyblades when factoring in the length at a score of 128. For the design, the shaft is dark purple or navy blue with white stars based on Mickey's sorcerer hat from Fantasia. The top has a light purple half circle with nondescript shapes coming off the side. The teeth of the Keyblade is a yellow crescent moon with a yellow star in the middle of it, and the guard features 2 white angel wings with another yellow star on the top of each. It has a black handle with a small blue star on the top and a bigger yellow star on the bottom. It is finished off with a yellow crescent moon keychain and small gray stars as the links of the chain. Small crescent moons appear upon impact with enemies. Another Keyblade that is useful in the early game but wanes in usefulness as the game progresses. However, it can remain relevant if paired with a stronger Keyblade in dry form, mostly for the Air Combo Plus that it provides.
For China!
Hidden Dragon is acquired after defeating Shan Yu and locking the keyhole in the Land of Dragons on your first visit here. This is most likely the first Disney-themed Keyblade you'll receive if you're going through the game on battle level. Its name may also be derived from a Chinese film, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but this is unconfirmed as far as I could tell. It gives you +2 strength, +2 magic, and the MP Rage ability. MP Rage allows you to regain magic when taking damage. You can stack this ability and gain MP back even faster, which can come in handy at different points throughout the game. This Keyblade is themed after Imperial Chinese designs, similar to the era in which Mulan takes place. It depicts a suspiciously familiar-looking dragon breathing fire. The fire rises from the dragon's mouth at the bottom of the shaft all the way up to the top. The red horseshoe-shaped guard has a golden outline and small spikes, one on each side. It also has a gold handle similar to a pillar that can be found in a classic Chinese temple. And the keychain features an ancient-looking token with an outline of a red dragon on it. It has a length of 104, putting it comfortably in the bottom half of Keyblades here. Flames will appear when making contact with enemies. Hidden Dragon is tied for the lowest strength stat in the game, and it's unlikely that you'll be using this very far into your run. It does provide a decent enough magic boost and the ability to regain magic faster, but this quickly gets overshadowed by Keyblades that provide much better strength. I haven't found myself using this Keyblade in my personal playthroughs, as Kingdom Key and Starseeker still have stronger strength.
I thought you were stronger than that.
The Hero's Crest Keyblade can be obtained after locking the keyhole in Olympus Coliseum at the end of your first visit here. You have to go through a bit of a mini boss gauntlet to get through this world, going through run-ins with Cerberus, Hydra, Pete, Demyx, and Hades, but this Keyblade makes it all worth it as you're rewarded with 4 strength, an air combo boost ability, and 0 magic. This gives you the strongest Keyblade in terms of physical damage up to this point, and on top of that an air combo boost here. Air Combo Boost increases the damage output of finishers performed through the air based on the number of hits within your combo. It is very similar to its Kingdom Hearts 1 counterpart, Olympia, as it provides a good deal of strength with no magic and represents the world of Hercules nicely. For its design, it also sports a lot of similarities to Olympia, as the shaft of the Keyblade is 2 pillars holding up the roof of the Colosseum, with a yellow sun rising over it as the teeth of the Keyblade. The sun also has a purple circle in the middle of it. The guard and handle make up 3 smaller pillars at the bottom, with clouds at the top and bottom. The clouds at the top curl up to form muscles. The keychain is once again the Olympus Stone, which plays a major role in the story visits here. Its length is 124, which puts it in the top half of Keyblades, and it displays stars when making impact with enemies. This is going to be your best Keyblade for strength that you are going to have until you get into the latter half of the game. For good damage output, I would equip this as your primary on your way to Disney Castle, and Starseeker as your Valor form Keyblade. The abilities of these two work nicely together, as Hero's Crest will boost all damage done with an extra hit added from Starseeker. As someone who prefers strength builds, especially in Kingdom Hearts 2, I typically use Hero's Crest all the way up to getting Circle of Life, which we'll get to.
Keyblade!
You get the Monochrome Keyblade after traveling back in time and locking the keyhole in Timeless River, stopping Maleficent from taking over the castle. This Keyblade, and the world as a whole, represents old-school Disney short films, mostly starring Steamboat Willie. It has a strength of 3, magic of 2, and an item boost ability. Item boost increases the effects of restoration items by 50%, which includes both potions and ethers. In the vanilla version of KH2, this Keyblade still had the item boost ability, however it was not confirmed how much the effects were increased by. The Keyblade is completely black and white and representative of the steamboat which can be seen in the world. The top of the Keyblade is a steamboat stack with smaller pipes hanging off the side of it. The guard is a lifesaver wrapped in rope, with part of the rope also making the handle. Also, the keychain is a ship's wheel and the length is 102, which is one of the shortest in the game. Cartoon stars will appear when making contact with enemies. Monochrome gives you the best balance of strength and magic up to this point, but the item boost ability doesn't provide much help, especially on higher levels when you're attempting to stay alive. I still opt for Hero's Crest as it provides much more physical damage output, and I don't see a real use for this on one of your dry forms either. However, it is important to note that you get the Reflect spell after Timeless River, so going for something with a bit more magic damage could be beneficial.
You're going where I belong.
Follow the Wind comes from locking the keyhole on your first visit to Port Royal, the Pirates of the Caribbean world. After thwacking Barbossa and his little heartless slave, you get your second of back-to-back Keyblades that represent a ship. I feel like they had to realize that you are most likely to get these Keyblades at around the same time, and they are both boat-themed. The Keyblade provides you with 3 strength, 1 magic, and the draw ability. Another Keyblade that will probably fall to the wayside pretty quickly, as it has the same stats as the Kingdom Key and Starseeker. But what sets Follow the Wind apart is its draw ability, which can come in handy in a very limited number of situations. Draw does what the name implies. It draws in any nearby orbs. This includes money, HP, and drive orbs, but most importantly the orbs dropped by Mushroom 3, Zaldan's Mushroom. If you want to secure all of the Keyblades in the game, you are going to have to defeat the Mushroom iterations of the organization as well. Mushroom 3 flies around and drops orbs, and Sora must pick up 450 to defeat it. It can be a little annoying as the Mushroom moves very fast. If you don't get to the orbs quickly enough, they disappear. This is where Follow the Wind comes in handy, as equipping this and stacking it on top of any other draw abilities you already have, you should defeat this Portobello in no time. The teeth of the Keyblade look like a ship's anchor, while its guard looks like the ship's wheel. It features one of the medallions found in the story visits here at the top of the guard, and another one as its keychain. It also has a red handle and is 130 in length, which is the 7th longest Keyblade in the game and the longest Keyblade you have received up to this point. Golden skulls will also appear when you make contact with your enemies. Outside of its very specific uses, I don't think you will use Follow the Wind all that much. I've only used it for Mushroom 3 specifically, and then quickly unequipped it afterwards. But much like Monochrome, it represents the world it comes from, even if there aren't a ton of places to use them.
It hurts!
Circle of Life is the first Disney Keyblade that you don't get from locking any keyhole, which is a great change of pace. I always thought it was way cooler when you could use a Keyblade in the world it comes from instead of getting it directly after, but luckily, most worlds in Kingdom Hearts 2 have second visits for the opportunity to do that. You receive this one halfway through your first visit here after Simba talks to Mufasa in the Oasis. This one is also nice because it gives you a viable reason to use it. Its stats are 4 strength, 1 magic, and the MP haste ability. This means it has the same strength as Hero's Crest, tying it for the strongest Keyblade up to this point. Unlike Hero's Crest, it does give you a small boost in your magic. The MP haste ability refills your MP 25% faster after draining it, which can be extremely helpful, especially if you are spamming Reflect. Circle of Life looks exactly like something Bob Cooper from Sly 4 would be holding, down to that signature cane hook at the top with spikes. The Keyblade is completely made from mossy wood, with white tape around the cane and tribal paint markings on the shaft and guard. The bottom of the shaft has the lion's face on it with all white eyes. The keychain is Simba's head from Rafiki's drawing in the Lion King film, and the handle is carved wood with more white bandages wrapped around it. Its length is 114, and that puts it firmly in the middle of the pack. Green leaves and vines will appear when hitting enemies. I typically switch to this from Hero's Crest at this point, as it gives me an edge in magic and provides better options for MP without sacrificing my strength. Unfortunately, using this as a primary is over pretty quickly, as you get better Keyblades over the next couple hours. It will still be valid as a secondary Keyblade to use with dry forms, especially Master, as you can get your MP back quicker while in this form.
Our promise.
Oathkeeper is the second returning Keyblade and is received in Kingdom Hearts 2 when locking the keyhole in Twilight Town. This Keyblade can also be seen in the prologue of the game and at the end of the world, wielded by Roxas. During his final confrontation with Axel in the mansion's basement, we learn that Roxas can dual wield both Oathkeeper and Oblivion at the same time. After battling nobodies with Axel on the way to the world that never was, a hooded Roxas is awoken within Sora. In an internal battle, Roxas is once again battling with Oathkeeper and Oblivion before being defeated by Sora. During the fight, Sora can steal Roxas' Keyblade using a reaction command, meaning technically you can wield 2 Oathkeepers at the same time. At this point in the game, a decent number of players will switch right over to this from Circle of Life, or whatever Keyblade they're using up to this point, but still not as good as its KH1 iteration. It provides 3 strength, 3 magic, and the form boost ability. The most balanced Keyblade up to this point, it deals solid damage and allows you to switch seamlessly between physical and magical attacks without losing a step. The form boost ability enhances magic and increases the amount of time that your dry forms last, meaning that paired with the correct Keyblades, your dry forms can last longer and deal great damage. And we'll get to that. In terms of design, the Keyblade remains the same as its KH1 iteration, but has a more metallic, more aluminum look to it. It keeps its angel wing guard and hearts woven throughout with accents of blue, purple, and yellow. The teeth are representative of the kanji letter for light, and Kairi's lucky charm is still the keychain. When we get Oathkeeper is interesting because we receive it in KH1 after Kairi gives us her lucky charm, and it is representative of the promise between Sora and Kairi. But when Sora wakes up from his pod, he has the charm still, but not the Keyblade. It is 98 in length, which is tied for the shortest Keyblade in the game. I don't think it prevents most players from using it at this point. It also has blue stars with white outlines when hitting enemies. Even though it's not as strong as its KH1 counterpart, it is a very valid Keyblade to be using after completing most of your first visits to different worlds. This will also be a good Keyblade to dual wield with Keyblades that provide magic boosts, such as Photon Debugger, Mysterious Abyss, and Bond of Flame, or its sister Keyblade Oblivion, as that provides us with drive boost as well.
Stop it!
Gullwing is acquired when speaking with Yuna in the second visit to Hollow Bastion after the Battle of 1000 Heartless. If you have fought your way to level 99, you should be very familiar with this Keyblade, unless you played this whole game without realizing Keyblades have abilities. Interestingly, in Vanilla KH2, the Keyblade had completely different stats. It originally gave you +3 strength and no magic boost, but in Final Mix, it gives you +2 strength, +3 magic, and the experience boost ability. You aren't really meant to use this Keyblade outside of leveling up Sora, so we'll talk about that. Experience boost allows Sora to gain an additional 100% EXP when in critical health, basically doubling how fast you level. So for the endgame, I recommend going to the world that never was and making a loop for yourself going into critical health while having these Keyblades equipped. I typically start at the Altar of Naught and make my way down through the castle until I hit the bottom where I warp back up. Gullwing represents the 3 Final Fantasy women that we get the Keyblade from, Yuna, Pain, and Riku. Its keychain is a symbol of Xenarchanabes, which is Titus's Blitzball team in Final Fantasy X. The guard is made up of 2 orange and yellow wings that can be found on Riku's outfit in FF10. There is a row of yellow bows across the blade of the Keyblade, which can also be seen as part of Riku's outfit. The top of the Keyblade is literally a Gullwing bird, which is the mascot of the Gullwing Sphere Hunter group. I grabbed all of this information from KHWiki because I have not yet played FF10, so I have no idea how accurate this information is. In terms of length, it is 112 in length, right around the middle. Little white stars appear when making contact with enemies. The Keyblade is crucial for post-game leveling and can even be used to overlevel as you progress through the game. Pairing this with a strength-based Keyblade on final form will help you absolutely shred enemies and gain EXP in the process.
Just stop!
Photon Debugger is gained after defeating the hostile program and exiting Space Paranoids. The Keyblade from the grid has 3 strength, 2 magic, and the Thunder Boost ability. Photon Debugger kinda gets lost in the slew of KH2 Keyblades, at least for me. It has moderate stats in both strength and magic, but you already have Keyblades that outdo this one. The Thunder Boost ability increases the damage output of thunder attacks by 20%, which can only come in handy against specific enemies that are weak to thunder. Most notably, Demyx is weak to thunder, which is something to keep in mind. As for its design, it takes on the same look of the world it comes from, with dull neons including mostly purple and blue. Its blade is lined with dark blue neon and makes a spiky C shape at the top. At the teeth of the key, there is a red and purple circle in the middle. The black guard has dark purple lines and circles. The handle is orange with blue polka dots, and the keychain is Tron's identity disc. Its length is 104, which is on the shorter end of Keyblades. Kind of a difficult Keyblade to explain as it's as abstract as the film it's derived from. Blue stars appear upon impact with enemies. You're probably not going to use this Keyblade much, but as previously mentioned, this can be effective against enemies with thunder weakness.
Whoa! This is some serious trouble!
Now we move to Rumbling Rose, the strongest Keyblade up to this point in the game. If Divine Rose represents Belle, then Rumbling Rose definitely represents the Beast, as it's bigger and uglier. You get this on your second visit to Beast Castle after reuniting with Beast just in time for the battle with Zaldin. I know people go out of their way in speedruns to get this Keyblade as early as possible for the strength it provides. It gives you 5 strength, the finishing plus ability, and no magic. Finishing Plus allows combo finishers to be done successfully, allowing us to deal more damage than the Bellbow. Pairing this with Oathkeeper on Master, you should hopefully whoop Xaldin into recompletion. The Keyblade looks very similar to Divine Rose in terms of design philosophy. It is a purple Keyblade with a green vine running up the blade, but instead of blooming into a rose, it has 3 black claws similar to those on Beast. It has orange lines at the bottom of the shaft that make it look like it's cracking. The guard is based on the spiky stem of a rose with a red rose at the top of it. Its keychain is another rose as well, and its length is 100, which is one of the shortest in the game. Pink petals appear when making contact, much like those seen around Marluxia. I always found it interesting that Square Enix used the Flower Organization member in a different game and didn't save him for Beast Castle, but he does show up as an absent silhouette here. Rumbling Rose will likely get a good amount of use until you get through to the endgame. It provides a strong boost to your damage output and has continual utility throughout the game.
This isn't good.
Mysterious Abyss is obtained after completing Ursula's Revenge in Atlantica, the rhythm-style world. It gives you 3 strength, 3 magic, and a blizzard boost ability. This is very similar to Photon Debugger with similar stat boosts and blizzard boost instead of thunder boost. Blizzard boost increases damage output of blizzard attacks by 20%. This means that you can use the Keyblade against enemies who are weak to blizzard like the undead pirates in Port Royal. So you may want to run over to Atlantica to grab this Keyblade before completing your second visit to Port Royal. The top of the Keyblade is a giant wave or water spout. The guard and handle is made up of different shaped orange, red, and blue shells, while the keychain is a white shell similar to the one found on the KH-1 Atlantica Keyblade. The length is 98, which ties it with Oathkeeper for the shortest in the game. Bubbles will appear upon making contact with your enemies. This Keyblade can be useful in certain situations, especially with enemies that are weak to blizzard, but not much outside of that.
Know your place.
Much like the Olympus Coliseum in Kingdom Hearts 1, you receive multiple Keyblades here. This is the only Disney World where you receive 2 Keyblades, one for each story visit. On your second visit here, you save Auron from Hades' control and get an Auron-themed Keyblade as a result. It has 5 strength, 1 magic, and a reaction boost ability. The Keyblade is a nice boost over Hero's Crest, which you got on your first visit here. Reaction boost increases damage done by reaction commands by 50%. Which can be huge, especially against bosses, as they all have unique reaction commands. It is tied with Rumbling Rose for the highest strength boost up to this point, but adds an additional point of magic as well. I typically keep Rumbling Rose as my primary at this point for its Finishing Plus ability, but it is also valid to switch to this here. Guardian Soul is designed after Auron's best weapon from Final Fantasy X, the Masamune. At the bottom of the blade is an ogre-like face attached to the orange handle with fully yellow eyes and purple fish-like fins protruding. There is a white symbol on the blade, and it represents a human soul as a fiery orb, showing Auron's strength as a guardian to Yuna and Braska in FF10. Yevon symbols appear when striking enemies. Once again, I had to pull all of this information from KHWiki because what's a Final Fantasy X? It is our longest Keyblade up to this point, at a length of 156, making it the 4th longest Keyblade in the game. It is also the longest Keyblade that you'll have for quite a while, unless you start post-game content before finishing the game.
Your pain shall be twofold.
Wishing Lamp is the Keyblade from Agrabah this time around, replacing 3 wishes. You gain Wishing Lamp after defeating Genie Jafar in your second story visit to Agrabah. This Keyblade is a lot stronger in its Kingdom Hearts 2 iteration with 4 strength, 3 magic, and the jackpot ability. It gives you the best mix of strength and magic up to this point, so you may switch to this Keyblade if that's what you're looking for. The jackpot ability increases the drop rate of money, HP, and MP orbs dropped by enemies. This Keyblade has quite a bit more usage than 3 wishes, as you will dump that after 1 or 2 worlds, while Wishing Lamp can be used on dry forms after receiving stronger Keyblades. The blade of the Keyblade shoots out of the titular Wishing Lamp, making one of the palace towers at the top. The teeth of the Keyblade is a gold, sharp, royalty-looking symbol, and the guard makes out 2 more palace towers, while the handle is purple. The keychain is once again a lamp, but this could also represent how there are 2 lamps, Genies and Jafars, once again playing into the themes of duality throughout Kingdom Hearts 2. It has a length of 116 right in the middle of the pack. White stars appear when hitting enemies with Wishing Lamp. Most importantly, this Keyblade can be used to level up your Master Form for post-game content. To level Master Form, you need to get Drive Orbs while in the form. I found it easiest to go to the Mysterious Tower and find the Gambler Nobodies. If you play their game correctly, they drop a ton of orbs, and even more so with the jackpot ability equipped. You can pair Wishing Lamp in Master Form with either Oathkeeper for its form boost capabilities or Follow the Wind for its draw abilities.
I wonder where I'm going.
Sweet Memories Keyblade is acquired after completing the Expedition minigame in the 100 Acre Wood. In vanilla KH2, it gave you no boost, 0 strength, and 0 magic, but it was useful for its Lucky Lucky ability, which increases the drop rate of items, good for getting synthesis material. In Final Mix, it still has 0 strength, but gives you 4 magic and the drive converter ability. So in vanilla KH2, the Keyblade was all but useless in combat, but here in Final Mix, it provides you with the best magic boost you have gotten up to this point. It can be used in certain situations with enemies susceptible to magic. Drive converter increases the drop rate of drive orbs instead of money. This means you will be able to stay in drive form longer with this Keyblade, but also pair it up with our last Keyblade, Wishing Lamp, to quickly level up Master Form. Sweet Memories has to be one of the cutest Keyblades in the series, coming from one of the cutest IPs that Disney owns. It has a tree trunk as the blade, and a branch coming off of it with a nest full of bees making the teeth of the Keyblade. The guard makes up an outline of a honey pot with honey all over the top and makes room for a wooden guard. The keychain is another honey bee, and its length is 102, tied with Monochrome for one of the shorter Keyblades in the game. But you won't be doing many physical hits with this Keyblade anyhow. Bees will swarm when hitting opponents with this Keyblade. Because of its weakness in the original release, it was effective for leveling up Valor Form because it is based on the number of hits landed. However, it switches over to being a great Keyblade to expedite the process of leveling Master Form.
Please work!
For me and many others, Decisive Pumpkin is the ultimate Disney Keyblade in the game. A good chunk of players will have this equipped until the world that never was, or may even keep it up through the end of the game. You get this after defeating the experiment on your second visit to Halloween Town. It is stronger than its KH1 iteration, Pumpkinhead, as that Keyblade is usually phased out by Neverland or Hollow Bastion. Decisive Pumpkin stats are 6 strength, 1 magic, and the combo boost ability. It is the strongest Keyblade at this point, and it also has the combo boost ability working in its favor. Combo Boost enhances the damage output of ground combos based on the number of hits in a combo, so equip those combo pluses, ladies. This is a good Keyblade to have as a primary, with Hero's Crest on a dry form, meaning you are getting a good damage boost to both ground and air combos simultaneously. The Keyblade's design sticks to that of the world it hails from, including both Halloween and Christmas, in keeping with the themes of duality. The bottom half represents Halloween with a reindeer skeleton serving as the guard, and 0 as the keychain with little pumpkins along it, while the top is more Christmas with a looping candy cane blade. The top of the candy cane becomes the snake that can be seen in the Nightmare Before Christmas film. The length is 126, which puts it in the top half of Keyblades. Blue star and pumpkin icons appear when making contact, as well as the sound of jingle bells. Decisive Pumpkin, or Holy Pumpkin in Japanese, is easily one of the best Keyblades in the game. You will find continual uses for it for its strength and ability. If not as your primary, you can definitely attach this to one of your drive forms.
Come, Guardian!
Sleeping Lion is Leon's Keyblade in KH2, and this is the sister Keyblade to Lionheart from KH1. You get this Keyblade when talking to Leon before going back into the world of Space Paranoids. It has 5 strength, 3 magic, and the Combo Plus ability. Sleeping Lion provides a good combo of both strength and magic, but there isn't much reason to use this Keyblade because of the Keyblades it is sandwiched between. Its ability, Combo Plus, allows Sora to perform an additional attack and his ground combos. You can combine this with the previous Keyblade when dual wielding. Decisive Pumpkin combined with Sleeping Lion will allow you to dominate enemies on the ground. The design is very similar to Lionheart. It is evocative of Squall's revolver gunblade in Final Fantasy VIII and is silver with a black guard. It is once again topped with a lion head and a fleur-de-lis as the teeth of the Keyblade. The keychain is another lion head, much like the one found on top of both Sleeping Lion and Lionheart. It is one of the longest Keyblades in the game as well, at 152, putting it as the 5th longest Keyblade in the game. Metal snowflakes appear upon making contact with enemies. Other than pairing Sleeping Lion with a Keyblade like Decisive Pumpkin on Valor form, I feel you're not going to find a ton of use for this Keyblade, unfortunately. It gets lost in the shuffle a bit in a game with a lot of Keyblades overall.
I'm so flattered!
Bond of Flame is formed when Axel sacrifices himself in helping you defeat the nobodies in the betwixt and between on your way to the world that never was. It's the first Keyblade we get as a result of the death of an organization member, and one of the 2 to be themed after the specific organization member. It has 4 strength, 4 magic, and the fire boost ability. It has good strength and is tied for the highest magic boost we have gotten up to this point, so it makes it extremely useful. On top of that, Fire Boost gives us a 20% increase to our fire-based attack. If you are familiar with KH2's various super bosses, you may be familiar with Bond of Flame, as combining it with Final Form Fires can completely stunlock a good amount of them. The Keyblade is also good to use with Wisdom and Master Form for the magic boost that it provides. The Keyblade is based solely on the chakrams that Axel wields. The top is one chakram and has 5 metal spikes on it, and the guard is another chakram with 2 spikes near the bottom. The 2 chakrams are connected with a black and red helix that looks like an 8, which is Axel's rank in the organization. Its length is 114, which is tied with Circle of Life and is almost directly in the middle of all the Keyblades. Orange and black stars appear when making contact with opponents. Bond of Flame is one of the best Keyblades that remains relevant far after you get it. It reminds me of Oathkeeper in Kingdom Hearts 1 in terms of the strength it provides and its emotional resonance to the story of the game. It is crucial in displaying the friendship between Roxas and Axel, though we get to see more of it in Days. This goes right into our next Keyblade. Two Become One is the most significant Keyblade to the story of Kingdom Hearts 2. It represents the full merging of Sora and Roxas after Sora defeats him in an internal battle at the world that never was. One of my favorites, and one of the most difficult boss battles in the game. You get this Keyblade after stealing Roxas' Keyblade and absolutely demolishing him with them. Its stats are 5 strength, 4 magic, and the light and darkness ability. A great balance of strength and magic, it is far more notable for its ability. Other than increasing your max ground combos by 1, light and darkness provides Sora with the ability to unlock final form. When equipping this and entering any form, you can only enter 2 forms, final form or anti-form. If you enter anti-form, you can leave the room and rebuild your drive and try again. Once you enter final form for the first time, it becomes permanent as the last form you will receive and by far the best of the 5. It absolutely torches enemies, and it makes this Keyblade one of the best in the game for that reason. This final mix exclusive becomes less usable after unlocking final form, as you will continually go into final form or anti-form. 2 Become One appears to be a combination of the Oathkeeper and Oblivion Keyblade. It sports a curved sword-like blade with sharp teeth and edges on the guard of the Keyblade. The Nobody symbol is at the hilt of the Keyblade, and the handle is checkered like Roxas' wristband that he wears in the prologue. The keychain is Roxas' charm with Nobody symbols as the chain links. It is 112 in length, once again in the middle of the pack. Roxas' symbol appears once again when smacking enemies with this Keyblade. It is important to equip 2 Become One as soon as possible to unlock final form, as it becomes a great option against bosses during the game and post-game.
I will be your Oblivion!
Oblivion makes its return here from Kingdom Hearts 1, with less story significance than its first time around. This time you get it in the world that never was after defeating Xigbar on your way to the final boss gauntlet. I confirmed that Riku was meant to give Sora the Oblivion Keyblade in KH1, so this is definitely a downgrade in terms of storytelling, and the same goes for Oathkeeper. Its stats are 6 strength, 2 magic, and the drive boost ability. It is as strong as Decisive Pumpkin, gives you an additional point of magic. A stronger Keyblade, but you will probably be so caught up in the endgame that you may forget to equip this. The drive form ability allows the drive gauge to restore quickly during MP charge, meaning it is important to fully drain your magic if you want to use this ability effectively. Funnily enough, if you pair together the polar opposites in Oblivion and Sweet Memories, you could be in the drive form of your choice for longer periods of time. The Keyblade remains the same from its KH2 iteration with an all-black design with accents of dark purple. Its teeth is the kanji symbol for darkness and has bat wings as the guard. Its keychain is a black version of Sora's crown charm. Its length is 122, above Wishing Lamp but below Hero's Crest. Black stars with white outlines appear when hitting enemies. Even without its strong story significance, it's actually more useful in its KH2 edition than KH1, as it is one of the strongest Keyblades in KH2.
You should consider yourself a tool at best.
Fatal Crest is acquired from beating the Goddess of Fate Cup in the Underdrome in Olympus Coliseum. In comparison to KH1, you only get 1 Keyblade from the Underdrome matches, where the KH1 Coliseum Keyblades are about half the Keyblades in the entire game. It's the second strongest magic Keyblade in the game, with 5 magic, 3 strength, and the Berserk Charge ability. While in MP Charge, the Berserk Charge ability will prevent you from using your finishing move, which at first may not sound beneficial, but this means that your combo can be infinite, and you can unleash maximum damage without enemies being able to fight back. I personally didn't use this method, but this can be helpful when taking down Mushroom 8, as with correct timing you can infinitely combo it to reach 85. The top and blade of the Keyblade is a skeletal dragon. Its handle is the face of the Hades Cup, and the guard is the side of the cup. The keychain is a tiny version of the Hades Cup as well, and its length is 148. 148 is good enough for the 6th longest Keyblade in the game, right below Sleeping Lion. Black sketch stars appear when hitting enemies. The Berserk Charge ability makes this Keyblade useful in particular situations, but it lost some of its luster from the original release to Final Mix, as it lost its status as the best Keyblade for Magic in the game. Now I will throw it over to Daily Kingdom Hearts 4 News to go over the Fenrir Keyblade. He uploads daily videos to upload fans on any happenings around KH4, so go check him out in the link in the description.
Hello everyone, I'm Daily Kingdom Hearts 4 News, and today I'm covering Fenrir. One of the best Keyblades in all of KH2, especially for Platinum runners. Fenrir is given to Sora by Tifa after defeating Sephiroth in Hollow Bastion. It has the strongest strength boost in the game, with strength being 7 and magic being 1. And the ability is negative combo. Not only is this the strongest Keyblade in the entire game, it provides Sora with negative combo, meaning that both Sora's air and ground combos is decreased by 1. Once again, this ability sounds like a negative effect, but it becomes extremely useful if you stack this with another negative combo in the ability menu. And remove combo and air combo pluses. You bring your combos from 3 hits to just 1. This means that you are unleashing a finisher on every single hit. This can completely break bosses, stunlocking them all the way into hell if you want to cheese the battles to move through the game quicker. This is especially true for Lingering Will. As for its design, it's a silver pin tumbler lock key wrapped with bandages at the base of it. It is a red handle and a purple guard, adding some much needed color. The keychain is Cloud's Fenrir pendant from his Advent Children's outfit. It is 168 inches in length, which makes it the longest Keyblade in the game, negating enemies' ability to escape your grasp for the most part. Fenrir is not only one of the best Keyblades in the entire game, but also just the series as a whole. I would like to also add some personal fun facts about the Keyblade. Fenrir is also the name of a recurring creature that appears in the Final Fantasy series, but is also the name of Cloud's motorcycle. Also, the bandages on Fenrir is another reference to Cloud, as his version of the Buster Sword in Kingdom Hearts also has bandages on it. Thank you for having me on today.
You're stupid!
The Way to the Dawn Keyblade is Riku's default weapon in Kingdom Hearts 2 and represents Riku's brushes with darkness and his goal to redeem himself in the game. It first appears when meeting back up with Riku in the world that never was, when saving Kairi and Naminé from Saïx. It has 3 strength and 0 magic. Its guard is made up of 1 angelic wing and 1 demonic wing, similar to those found on Oathkeeper and Oblivion. It has a sharp, fleshy blade that is red and dark purple with an additional darker wing hanging off the side. Its keychain has the Heartless symbol on it, with the classic red outline. After reuniting, Sora and Riku defeat Xemnas and the organization with the best reaction command in the game.
Oh boy!
Kingdom Key D unfortunately makes a return here as Mickey's main Keyblade until he ditches it in future titles. Mickey may show up in earlier boss fights upon you dying to do some fighting for you and revive you, giving you a second chance at victory. It carries the same stats as Way to the Dawn with +3 strength and no magic change. It keeps the same design as KH1 with a color swap of the Kingdom Key. It has a gold blade and keychain, a silver guard, a red stripe above the guard, and a brown handle.
You know Sora's completely hopeless without us.
Destiny's Embrace is given to Kairi by Riku in the world that never was to defend herself from the danger present in the castle. This is Kairi's only Keyblade up to this point in the series. The guard of the Keyblade makes an upside down heart, with one side looking like sand while the other looks like water. The reddish-orange blade has vines running around it that bloom into a nice bouquet to make up the teeth of the Keyblade. The keychain is a Paopu fruit representing the intertwined destinies of Sora and Kairi. There are no stats attached to this Keyblade in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Was that supposed to be a joke? 'Cause I'm not laughing!
The Final Mix only Keyblade, Winner's Proof, is the strongest magical Keyblade in the game, replacing Fatal Crest. You get this from the 13 Mushroom and Hollow Bastion after satisfying the first 12. Its stats are 5 strength, 7 magic, and the no experience ability. If you're looking to level up, you're not going to find it with this Keyblade, as the no experience ability is going to gain you no experience. It is strong enough to use after fully leveling or against bosses, but I never felt any reason to really use this for how late you get it in the game. In terms of design, it doesn't have all that much going on, as it's pretty much just 13 mushrooms attached to a gold Keyblade. There are 7 on the blade, 2 on the guard, and 4 on the keychain. It also has a numerical 13 at the base of the blade. It is tied with Ultima Weapon for the second longest Keyblade in the game at 166. Black and yellow stars appear when hitting enemies. This Keyblade can be beneficial for those looking to use magic, especially in Wisdom, Master, or Final form, but that only applies if you haven't already finished everything in the game.
Look what I saved for you!
Making its triumphant return, the Ultima Weapon can be synthesized at any Moogle shop after getting the weapon's recipe. It requires 13 Orichalcum pluses, 1 regular Orichalcum, 1 Mithril crystal, 1 dense crystal, 1 twilight crystal, and 3 serenity crystals. You will also need 1 energy crystal to reduce the number of Orichalcum pluses needed, as there are only 7 in the entire game. Its stats are 6 strength, 4 magic, and the MP Hastiga ability. One of the most easily utilized Keyblades in the game, it has a great mix of strength and magic. MP Hastiga is an upgraded version of MP Haste from the Circle of Life Keyblade, as you increase your MP restoration by 75% when in MP charge. The design philosophy for Ultima Weapon stays similar throughout the series, but with slight changes. It swaps the yellow and teal color palette from KH1 for different shades of blue with small accents of yellow. It is far more symmetrical than its KH1 counterpart. The teeth of the Keyblade are the same but larger than before, with another crown at the top of the Keyblade. The same heart can be found at the base of the Keyblade, but the guard features 2 more silver crowns, 1 on each side. The keychain has a token that is a combination of the crown and heart design, with 3 more silver crowns as the link. Like previously mentioned, is 166 in length and tied with Winner's Proof. White stars will appear when hitting enemies. It isn't as OP as the Kingdom Hearts 1 edition, but it still comes out on top as one of the best Keyblades in the game. But for me, it's far less grindy than Kingdom Hearts 1, which makes up for the difference for its downgrade here. Kingdom Hearts 2 provides more nuance to Keyblades in its game with its drive forms, dual wielding, and attached abilities, making for an interesting breakdown of each Keyblade. The Keyblades in the series get more complicated as games go along, and I'm kind of terrified to tackle KH3 next. But I think KH2 offers a more in-depth combat level to its Keyblades and makes the player actively think about what Keyblades they are and aren't using. So with that said, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I put a lot more effort into this one compared to the last, and I hope to keep improving. If you did like this video, please like and subscribe to support my channel. The more you fill my ego with attention, the more videos I'll make. Anyway, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye!